Hey, Miami sports fans. Stop by Caneswear today at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. And check out their awesome merchandise selection of your favorite South Florida sports teams. From the Miami Dolphins, Hurricanes, Heat, Marlins, Florida Panthers, and Inter Miami, they've got it all. Celebrate your favorite team and show off your fandom with their beautiful team starter jackets, killer-looking helmets, team jerseys, cool shirts, and more. And if you're out of town or out of state, no worries. Go to Caneswear.com and find everything they have on their site. Select what you want, and they will ship your gear to you. Anything over $99 is shipped for free. Don't wait. Stop at Caneswear today.
It's back. The green train is running.
Bobby, you know, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Fitz Talk. Today on the Fitz Talk Sports Network, I'm Bobby Fitz Talk, and that right there is the one and only Fish Tank. Hank, it's been a minute. I'm getting over COVID. I was coaching basketball, but I'm back, at least for a week, and then I'm back in Florida for the Dolphins 5K, so we'll see what happens next week. But until then, I'm here with the one and only Fish Tank. Mr. Hank, how you doing, brother?
It's great to finally see you again. I was left on an island for a little while.
You were with a bunch of strangers. Yeah, that's right.
It's okay, because it was Fantasy Island, all right? And now that you're back, we can get back down to business now that I've had my fun.
That's right. Now we're coming back to reality. I got to pull you back in, and we're going to get to it. And that's why I call this episode Wishful Thinking, Wishful, the wish list episode, because, you know, Fish Tank, obviously being on the back end and just kind of, you know, I did a couple shows here and there. You know, I'm doing the draft show, and I haven't been able to do East 10th Street Boys because I've been sick, getting over COVID, and I'm still, so forgive me, guys, if I have to, you know, I start to lose my voice through the episode. But, you know, you see, you know, everybody, we all have, you know, expectations. We were all disappointed with how the Dolphins finished the season. We see what they're doing. They hired the new coordinator, Anthony Weaver. They've made some, they really revamping that defensive staff, which I'm actually very happy with what they're doing on defense, but it also gets us thinking, hey, what's next? Who are we going to sign? Man, I wish they signed this. I was just watching the All Dolphins podcast, at least a clip from it, from Omar Kelly and with TD Finns and Barry Cunningham and whatever, and they were talking about, you know, which is not just them. There's a lot of people that would like Miami to go get a quarterback to compete with Tua. That's a part of that wishful thinking. And we're going to separate fact from fiction, at least, you know, because we have some guys we would love Miami to sign, but is it really going to happen? But before we get into all of that, Fish Tank, sir, I haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing, sir?
You know, I'm doing great. But first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us and give them all a big fins up. I see you all out there, Mark, Ray, Raph, Hammer Time, Thirsty. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate all of you. And for me, I had some company out, and I had my company on one of the shows on Finn's Bandwagon. And it was fun. I had a good time with it. It was Evan was on there, and we had a really good time that day. Other than that, I've just been waiting for my old Jefe to get back, and now he's back, and so now I have to, like, shift gears and get to work.
I'm happy to be back, man. And like I said, I circled this episode as like, okay, I have to be back for this one because I knew, because I've been basically out of commission with coaching my son, and then that was such an amazing experience, and I had a blast, and that was great. And I'm thankful for everyone who was able to come on the show and tag team with you and you to do that. And then, of course, I had COVID, and I'm like, okay, now I got cancer, the cancer walk next week, so I may not be available then. So I'm like, I got to do this show with Fish Tank. We got to do it. So I'm happy that I'm here. Mark, God bless you. Great to see you, brother. Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. If you're thirsty for Dolphins content, go check out Rob at Dolphins Thirsty YouTube channel with Courtney Dolphin. I'll be with Rob next Saturday as well. He'll be at the walk. We'll walk together. Raphael, great to see you. Ray Finkel in the house. Hammer Time, everybody. Great to see you. Ralphie boy, great to see you. I will call you after the show. I saw your message, sir. I promise I'll call. Well, if I get my voice, because my voice is still good. But let's get the ball rolling. Fish tank. Okay. Let me ask you. I want to ask you this question first.
Okay.
Then we'll get on. Because I don't want to. I always say this, but it's just like people get in and on anyway with the quarterback thing. But before we get into quarterback, just because I just heard about it with Tua and Justin Fields, before we get into that, what have you, when you're on Twitterverse and you're listening and reading and, you're diving into that, whether you're arguing with people and pissing people off or vice versa, what is the craziest thing you've heard from Dolphin fans that Dolphin fans want to happen this season? Whether it's firing, hiring, signing someone off the streets, making a trade. What is something that makes you go, what are you talking about?
I would have to say it's all the people that are I don't know. I think it's the people that are mad. I think it's people that are mad at the team, and I can understand being upset. I get upset about it, but I don't. As soon as it's over, it's like, oh well, that it came, it went, kind of, and everybody deals with it for a few days. But there are people that spend this entire offseason being miserable. And that's one of the biggest things that I see out there. Don't be miserable just because the team flopped at the end. I mean, it happens. It happens a lot to us Dolphins fans.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with everyone that says, well, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. So am I. But part of being a fan is through thick and thin. Look at the Lions. Look how many years it took them to finally do something. Well, now we're the Lions. We're known as the Lions of the NFL. People have said that's another one. So I'm like, well, I don't know that it's that bad yet, but we haven't won playoffs. We haven't won Super Bowls. I mean, it's starting to stack up. The years are stacking up for a lot of people, and a lot of people are getting tired of it, but people say, oh, well, I'm not going to be a fan anymore. Okay. Or people that say, I'm not going to buy season tickets because they're just going to suck anyway. Things like that, I just kind of throw me a little bit, just be a fan, enjoy yourself, and when it's over, move on. You know what I mean? When it's over, if you didn't win, and then you just, say the hell with it. We got other fish to fry right now anyways. So that's how I feel about it. That's some of the craziest stuff I've heard. I'm not talking trades and stuff like that yet. But there have been some crazy ones out there. They want to get rid of Tua, yet they have nobody to replace him with. And then I say, well, who are you going to replace him with? Well, just get rid of Tua. Well, okay, we get rid of Tua, but who are we bringing in that's better? That's what I want to know each time somebody says, just get rid of Tua. Okay, well, we just might need him to stopgap for 1 year before we replace him and things like that. So we'll find out.
Yeah. Let me say, too, your first point you're absolutely right. First off, the first few days, after the season or that initial game when you lost in the wild card, and the last 3 games where you gave up everything, you gave up the AFC East when you were 3 games ahead. You had the first seed, the second seed, and you lost that. You were up in the 5th or 6th seed in the wild card, which was ridiculous. In the home field advantage, you lost it. Absolutely. I understand after the season ends, you're like, you know what? This is crap. Fire everybody, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sure. I understand that. You have a right to be upset. Every fan has a right to be upset. But to carry it out through the offseason and you're just like, still, it's like, look, it's time to let it go. Let's move on. What we can't change. Like you could say, it's like, oh, what do you think of our coach? And this is not me. I think our coach is in our second year. I think you give him that third year. It sucks because he's been put in a position where it's a very small window for Miami, and the window is closing. That's a fact. When you made the trade for Tyreek, Jalen Ramsey, it started with Tyreek. When you made the trade for Tyreek, that window you give, because usually coaches have 3 to 5 years. Coaches are
the clock was ticking, but it was ticking in double beat.
Yeah, as soon as you signed Tyreek, you made a trade. That window went like this because that's a huge cap number. He's a veteran superstar player. He's not going to last. Usually, and I brought it up, Fishik, if you remember, we did it with Brandon Marshall. We did it with Mike Wallace. Those guys only lasted 2 seasons. He's on his second season. He's going into his third year. Those windows don't last for those superstars, especially those receivers. So when you did that to Mike McDaniel, you could shorten his window. So he's going to have this third year. After this season, doesn't do it, okay, I'm all on board. We got to make that change. But right now, you got to let it play out. This current core roster, Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, Jalen Ramsey, etc., that core of your team, they're not going anywhere. Okay? We got to see this out. The Dolphins are going to do what they can do with this current core. And then next season, when that core kind of runs itself out, that's when they say, okay, what do we got to strip and rebuild with? In regards to our DC, I saw Raphael's comments in there. I don't want another DC, because we went Boyer, Fangio, Weaver, another DC next season because he might be a head coach. We don't know what the future holds. But I'm going to tell you, Ralph, why you shouldn't be too concerned. Because the fact of the matter is, he's not the head coach. Our head coach is the consistency. Coordinators come and go all the time. Getting fired is a problem. Our defensive coordinators getting fired every year would be a problem. Our defensive coordinators, or leaving for another job and you say, hey, we're mutually parting ways. But when a coordinator gets a head coaching job, good teams figure that out. Good teams say, okay, we got a guy already. We're promoting him. He's our new DC. So I'm not worried about that. Now, it's the Dolphins. That's why you should be worried. But other than that, a new coordinator every year is not something to be concerned because good teams figure it out. The coaching is the problem. Ralphie boy brought up Justin Fields, or I said it earlier. Ralph said he's one of those people who wants to bring Justin Fields. And I saw TD Fitz talk, friend of the channel, great guy. Talked to him before, been on a couple shows with him. But obviously, Tua as a passer is better than Justin Fields. Let me just clarify that. Justin Fields, what he offers is the mobility, the electric play, running, et cetera, what Tua doesn't have, because Tua's limited in that capacity because he's trying to save himself from getting hurt. Fact of the matter is, when it comes to fact and fiction, I call it fiction. I don't think the Dolphins would go after Justin Fields. I think people have to let that go. First off, because they don't have the capital to do it.
That's a lot to give up.
Exactly. This guy's going to be a second-round pick, get basically given up. He's probably going to go to Atlanta. All right, so that's what I'm saying. You got to separate fact and fiction. Do I think the Dolphins need to bring in a quarterback, whether it is to maybe push Tua in practice, or not even push Tua, but give you that security blanket that if and or when Tua goes down, if it happens next season, you're not going, oh, here comes Mike White. Here comes Skyler. yes, I think Miami should go after somebody to give you that security blanket. A name I would like, or that I would think would be a good name to look at, Josh Dobbs. I think Josh Dobbs would be a good quarterback. I'm not saying replace. I'm saying security blanket, a legitimate backup. Your version of Matt Moore. That's the guy the Dolphins need to get. If you're so damn concerned with Tua's play or his health, you go get somebody like Matt Moore. And who's that? So Mitch Trubisky is going to get released. Could he be that younger? He's still a young quarterback. He can still mold him. Mike McDaniel might have a field day. Maybe Mike Trubisky, former first-round pick. Josh Dobbs. Those are guys, Fish Tank. Backups. But they're not going to cost you a pretty penny. They're not going to, hurt his confidence, which I don't like anyway. I think that's kind of cheesy and weak, when they say, oh, you're going to mess with him. No, bullshit. Sorry. You're a damn grown man. You're a quarterback of the NFL. You're a football player. If you don't like the guy being just as good or good, then play better than him. Keep the job. But I don't think that's the case. I think more if it's a security blanket. Something happens to him or he struggles, you got a guy there who could come in and win you a game or two and move on. What do you think, Fish Tank? Justin Fields to the Dolphins, fact or fiction?
That's fiction, bro.
Okay.
It would take way too much to get Justin Fields on this team because this team has way too many other needs other than quarterback right now. We're talking, I always look at the right now or the must-haves. And, the right now and must-have for me isn't quarterback. No, if anything on the offense, it's the line. You have to give Tua more than 2.5 seconds to hold the ball. Everybody blames him about this first read thing. Well, that's what he's being taught is he's got 2.5 seconds and he better make a read quick. He better make a read before the ball's hiked and he better make that read right. And if he goes to his second, 9 out of 10 times somebody's tackling him, sacking him, whatever you want to call it. They're getting to him. So how do you alleviate that? Well, we need to fix the offensive line. We kept moving people in and out like oh, this guy will work. Oh, that guy will work. Wait a minute, let's take this guy out and put this guy in. No, let's take that guy out and put these guys in. That's how the whole year went. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. We have plenty of people that can do a better job. There are plenty of people that can do a better job. Now, is that moving around in the draft? Is that staying put? I don't know. I don't know. What are they going to do in the offseason? Are they going to pick some people up for that offensive line? I don't know. We need a number 3 wide receiver. We need a big-bodied wide receiver that can go up and get the ball. We need that if we want to succeed and get more than 7 points against the Kansas City Chiefs. Things like that we need. We need a good tight end that can block and catch. We don't have that either. So that's just offense. And I'm not even going to get into the defense. So that's 3 needs right there, other than the quarterback, in my opinion, that are bigger needs than the quarterback. So I understand what everybody's saying. Quarterback, without the quarterback this, without the quarterback that. I understand. But I've seen bad quarterbacks go in. Yeah, look at that. Offensive line. You need 3 offensive linemen. 3 of them. 3 out of 5. You need 3. And then linebacker, edge rusher, defensive line, tight end, wide receiver, defensive back, safety, punter. There's a big list. There's a big list, Bobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And that's why the Dolphins have, that's why I say when, Dolphins have bigger problems on their team than quarterback. Okay. The fact is everyone has an opinion on our quarterback. Okay, and I will say, with Tua running, as a, the reason, Alex asked me on East 10th Street Boys, why is Tua not, last year, not this season, the season before, he seemed like he was more athletic, running around, making plays, blah, 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 blah. But compared to this season where it looked like he was playing scared, the fact of the matter is that he's limited now because he wants to protect himself from getting hurt. The jiu-jitsu. That's why you saw him, but a lot other times he was playing, he was, spinning out of sacks and running and going head first into the first down, making the play to win. Compared to this season, he spins out of a sack, runs 5 yards, and then slides 10 yards before the first down on a third down, fourth down play. He's protecting himself. He's limited in that way. Does that mean you can't win? Does that mean you can't win with Tua? No, you could win with Tua. Go ahead.
That's the thing. They think that every team can have that elite Patrick Mahomes on the team. Not every team can have that. I hate to break it to you. The fact that the Kansas City Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes and he turned out to be what he turned out to be is quite surprising from where he got drafted, because he wasn't drafted first, okay? There's a lot of different things that could have been, should have been. Just go with what is. You know what I mean? Just go with what is. And what is, we need 3 offensive linemen. We need to probably do something to acquire as many of those as we can.
Ralph, I saw your excuse me, guys. Raphael's comment.
305s too.
I agree with Bobby about Justin Fields. What about trading Tua to Bears and pick 21 for Bears number 1 pick? I would roll with Skylar, and if he doesn't pan out, we will have a high draft pick. Well, first thing is first. Again, the window we're in. Okay, and I want to just say to everybody, everyone's opinion matters. You're a Dolphins fan. You can have any opinion that you freaking want and believe what you think, whether you don't believe in the quarterback, whether you believe in the quarterback, whether you think we should trade up to number 1, whatever you want. I ain't going to go on that. My question for Raphael is, who would you take at number 1? And secondly, understand this. The Dolphins' window at making a run, whether we believe it's going to be a worse team, because Miami's best chance, obviously, you have to think, was this season. Aaron Rodgers was out. You were 3 games ahead of Buffalo. You had the 1st and 2nd seed. You lost all of that. That's what pisses everybody off. That's why everybody's ready to hit the nuclear button, because of how it played out. But, so I understand people's thought process that this is not going to be a better team next season. But the truth is, whether that's fact or fiction, the Dolphins are still in a win now mode. Winning now is not Skylar at quarterback. Your best chance to win is Tua at quarterback. The Dolphins believe it. The NFL believes it. Most people believe it. I like Skylar. I do. But your best chance to win is Tua, despite what we call whatever his deficiency may be, whether not Patrick Mahomes athletic or whatever you want to call it. But my question, he gained muscle. He did.
Slower.
He did. He did put on weight. I think it was more about trying to gain mass to handle injury a lot better. Again, the slower thing, I think it was more about protecting himself from injuries,
getting rid of the ball, I can tell you that.
Kansas City had Alex Smith and they drafted Patrick Mahomes. Dolphins drafted Tua and later drafted Skylar. No, you're not wrong. I think you should draft the quarterback every year or almost every year until you hit on it. Kirk Cousins, they drafted RG3. They drafted Kirk Cousins later. I'm not against that. I'm all about it. Again, I would say on the draft, do not sleep on any one position at 21 other than quarterback, unless one of those top guys fall, then there might be some discussion. But realistically, factor fiction, I would say it's more fiction at 21 for quarterback. Marvin Harrison at pick 1. Ooh, I'm not against that. We're talking bacon grease there, but then you got Skylar at quarterback, you got Marvin Harrison, then it's kind of like, okay, hold on a second, so anyway. Well, Rob, you know how it is, brother. Just trying to stay reasonable. I think, listen, with Dolphin fans fighting and all that, blah, blah. Look, guys, we're all Dolphin fans. We have a right to believe what works with what we think works best for this football team. What we don't have the right to do is say, hey, you think this, man? Oh, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Go join another team. Go be with the Seattle Seahawks and crap. Don't gatekeep being a Dolphin fan. Everyone has a right to think whatever helps us, whether you think it's not the quarterback or not the coach or not the whatever.
I understand why people say that side of it too, Bobby, because they get tired of that person that keeps on bitching and complaining that they don't want to be on part of the Dolphins, this and that, and then they stay and keep complaining. So that's why some people are, I got both sides of this coin, Bobby.
Well, I can understand the point of, the Dolphins are always going to suck, or, the Dolphins. That's different. That's a different thing where you're like, the Dolphins are always going to suck. This is not okay, But what I'm saying is when you're saying, look, man, the Dolphins aren't going to win. Why the Dolphins aren't going to win? Because Tua's at quarterback. Okay. That's not a bad thing. That to me that's what you believe. Or, I don't believe in the head coach. That's not something to say, you know what, then go to another team. Because guess what? That coach is going to go away eventually. The Dolphins aren't. But if you think that when you look at this logo and you're like, that team's always going to be trash, then go find another team. That's a different story. But when you're talking about how to better the team, whether you believe it in any way, one or another, you have that choice. Anyway.
Hey, Bobby.
Yes.
I don't usually smoke, but being you're back, I wanted to have a cigar to celebrate the fact that I get to hang out with you again and do this broadcast. So thank you for coming back and putting in the extra effort while still recovering from COVID.
Thank you, sir.
You. So I figured I'd light up a cigar in your honor.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So let's stay with the draft pick right here because at pick 21, best player available, Brian Thomas, 6'4", LSU wide receiver. Hell yes. Wouldn't be against that. I am currently scouting, obviously, the draft. We're doing the on the clock show. I'm watching player tape. I'm having a blast. I just got done with defensive tackles. I did tight ends. I'm working on tight ends currently. Tight ends, to talk about Ben Sennett. That dude is legit. Jared Riley, is that a Cuban fish tank?
No, I'm not allowed to have those. They're illegal in the United States.
So it's a
wink.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's a Dominican.
There you go. Another guy, I'll tell you what, guys, Dolphin fans, because we don't know what's going on with Christian Wilkins. Well, let me ask this one very quick. Fact or fiction, Fish Tank? Christian Wilkins comes back next season.
Fact.
Ooh, okay.
Fact, because I think if nothing else, they're going to franchise tag him and try to work out another deal. So that's why I think. But what do you think?
I'm still, even though I think I feel a little more fact than fiction now, just because Anthony Weaver brought him up amongst a lot of the current Dolphins that should remain with the team, that we expect to remain a team, during his press conference. I'm leaning more fiction because of the contract. And let me tell you why I'm comfortable with fiction if it goes down, even though I love Christian Wilkins. Heart of the team, good to great player, all that whatnot. There's a lot of good D tackles in this draft class. a lot of good ones. One guy that stood out to me. Say what?
The offensive tackle. So you can't get them all.
Can't get them all, but you could move around. I'm not talking. Remember, you're looking at, first of all, offensive line. This draft is deep. You're thinking first, second round pick. You get a guy in third, fourth. Yeah, look, but you could get a guy third, fourth, fifth. You get a quality guy at offensive line. Same thing with defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. So T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas.
Picks on from 55 to 156 to pick any of them up.
Xavier Howard says he's not going to restructure his deal, or he kind of alluded to that when they asked him. They said, "Hey, would you take lesser?" And he said, "If your boss asked you to take a less pay, would you do it?" And so to me, and he's still on the roster next season. You could trade him for a third, fourth round pick, more likely a third round pick. So, and you could move down from 21 and gain a couple picks. So it could happen. Florida State, Braden Fisk, watch him. Byron Murphy. I liked T'Vondre Sweat before watching the tape. I like Byron Murphy a lot more after watching the tape. There's a lot of good damn D tackles, but Braden Fisk at FSU, that dude's motor is nonstop. He is high energy. That is a dude that I am like, if he's there and they take him, we're good. That dude's a beast. But let me ask you this, Fish Tank. NFL draft, sir.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather, and I guess it matters, I guess it depends on who's available and all that. I understand. So let's kind of go with this. Who would you rather trade up, trade down, or stay put at 21? Where do you lean? Trade down.
I trade down and try to get between 33 and 40 somewhere. And hopefully more like 33 to 35, all right, is what I want. But I would trade back a little further if the package was big enough. But I would want to trade down and grab an O-lineman right in the beginning of the second round. There are some great people to get. The center, what's his name? Powers. He's got a hyphenated name. Something Powers.
Yeah, Jackson Powers Johnson out of center. Yeah.
Yeah, you could go into the second round, the beginning of the second round, and still pick him up. I think he'll still be available. And that's a huge need for Miami. And if he's not there, if he's not there in the 30s, I don't know. You know, I would say you have offensive tackles that'll be there. You have safeties, offensive guards. I hate to say it, but cornerbacks.
Hey, again, do not sleep. And I'm telling you guys this, and remember this. Do not sleep on any position at 21 unless it's quarterback. Of course, again, I'm not talking about guys who fall. If it's Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, that's a conversation. But realistically, those guys aren't going to be there. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, is pushing himself up. I think he's moving himself up in this draft. I'd be surprised if he might be at 21. He may be at 21, but I wouldn't be surprised if he picked at that spot. Fisk, Wingate going to talk about this on the clock with D tackles. We're talking D tackles. Raphael, I have not looked at Carter yet because he's an edge rusher, I believe, in the database, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. But I will. I've been meaning to. We will.
For who?
Say what? I'm sorry. What'd you say, Fish Tank?
For who? Who are you talking about?
Oh, edge rusher Carter out of Duke. Somebody they want me to look at. I haven't been able to look at him yet. Hard to talk about the draft. What ifs? Now we need to get through free agency. What holes get filled? Absolutely, but that's not fun to wait. We want to talk about it now. But right now, I'm always about. I love trade downs because you're gaining draft picks. When you trade up, you're losing draft picks. And is there any one player right now that if you were to trade up for them, would they really move the needle for Miami to win that wild card game? Do you really believe that as great as he is and as complete as a player as he is, Brock Bowers, which I've heard a lot about for Miami trading up, if you were to trade up for Brock Bowers, whether that was at the mid-range, teen range, 15, 10, whatever, from 21, as great as a tight end as he is, as a weapon, another weapon he would provide for Tua with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, does that win you the wild card game? That's the question. Because was you tight end, and as much I believe we should go get a tight end, we're looking at him. Does tight end win you that playoff game? That's why the same thing. If you were to go and trade Tua and go draft Michael Penix, which somebody had drafting the Dolphins, Michael Penix out of Washington, another left-handed quarterback, which doesn't matter, just and he's good. But you think drafting Michael Penix is the difference? When you watch this team, did you really think quarterback was the difference?
On some games, yes.
And I did say that a lot of times. It was when you had the elite quarterback versus the good quarterback. Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. But do we think Michael Penix is elite? We don't know. My thing is this team has bigger problems than just one position. That's why I say you trade down, you gain as much picks. Because again, I've said this to Josh. I believe, and the tight ends in this draft class, there's a lot of good tight ends. There's a lot of good tight ends in this class that you don't need to trade up. Ben Sennett, Josh Wingate touched on him on the clock. Big time tight end, could do it all. Go ahead.
Let me ask you something then. Is there anybody you would trade up for?
Again, I would say it depends on where we're trading up to. If you're telling me trade up to 15, I don't think that's too much of a reach. But if you're telling me trade up into the top 10, I don't think there's anybody that could make that big a difference. Jackson Powers, maybe. But again, the draft class is so deep at offensive line and tight end. I think you sit and wait who falls to 21, and then you decide, do I trade back from there?
Yeah.
That's where I stand, Fishnet.
Exactly. I'm right there with you on that one. Right there with you. That's what I'd do. I'd sit there, unless you get some kind of grand offer from somebody that's, only has third, fourth, or something like that, or second, third to pick. And then you can get the blockbuster where you pick up a first for the following year or something crazy like that. I'd be all over that. But that's
so. And Josh says
that's fiction right there.
Excuse me, guys. Yeah,
that's me dreaming.
Raphael says I took FSU tight end Jaheim Bell out of my in his mock draft. That's a favorite of Josh Wingate's. Likes him a lot. I just started watching on him more deeply, because I have to make up for that in our top 100 on our homework for OTC. Wingate says he reminds him out of the fullback from 49ers. For Dolphin fans, I see a better version of Charles Clay in Jaheim Bell, if that helps Dolphin fans. Wingate says I'm trading up for an offensive tackle. That's who he'd trade up for. And you know what? Again, it depends on where we're trading up to. But if Teron Armstead decides to retire, I'll leave the money on the table and retire. First off, Kendall Lamb did a damn good job. But Joe Alt out of Notre Dame, no joke. No joke.
Yeah, but getting them's a whole other story.
True. Absolutely.
I mean, come on. He's in the top 5 on a lot of big boards.
Fish Tank, he's maybe the top tackle in the draft. He's going to go high. There's no doubt. That's why I say it depends. You know what I'm saying, brother? If it's top 5, I'm not trading up there because, again, Miami has too many needs on this roster. That
Yeah,
offense,
that's
you know what I mean?
true.
Just one position.
Yeah. I don't see him being there at 15. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say.
So-
If you're trading up to 15, I don't see. There's no way. No way. No way. Something would have to go wrong.
Absolutely.
Wink, wink. Where's that gas mask again?
Oh, yeah. And he's over there winning playoff games in Houston now. Oh, Lordy. All right. Let me ask you this very quick, Hank, and then we're going to jump into the mock draft simulator because we haven't had a chance. We did that last year, and I want to do that with you again. I thought we had a lot of fun doing that last year with who had the better draft. We were always having fun with that. And I said, let me try that again. I think that was a blast. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, let me ask you this. I said the Dolphins windows are closing. I believe the Dolphins are on borrowed time. I'm going to ask this quick. You know, again, we realize Dolphins were 3 games ahead of the Buffalo Bills. They were the first and second seed. We understand how it finished out. That's why Dolphin fans are pissed with how it closed out, and they want everybody fired, or this guy fired, or this guy traded, and this guy, whatever. They're saying trade Tyreek Hill. They're saying trade Jalen Waddle. All this crazy stuff. But you know what? It's all fair in love and war, brother. Let me ask you this, Fish Tank. Do you believe the Dolphins are on borrowed time?
You know, if I was concerned with the salary cap number, I'd tell you yes. But salary cap can be manipulated in so many ways that it's not stringent. You know what I mean? They can flex with bonuses and all different kinds of other stuff. So are they on borrowed time? Well, they're on borrowed time with a few of its players for sure. That's what we're on borrowed time with, in my opinion, is on a few players. Now, as far as this team generating enough, I know in 2025 we have enough draft picks to make it some type of turnaround. You know what I mean, Bobby?
Yes, sir.
Flipping me all around.
I'm getting ready for some. But go ahead.
So, yeah, I answered your question. Did you hear me?
I did.
All right.
See here. Good afternoon, Steve Malloy. Hunter, good morning, sir. Great to see you. Raphael,
everybody. Back it up, Binge Podcast.
Raphael, yes, trade. Yes, backside of Hill. I think trading Tyreek Hill is an option next season. That's where I stand on that. Back it up, Bid Podcast. Great to see you, brother. Fids get 1 year left in this go around. They don't make the Super Bowl. It's rebuild. Yeah. I don't think I wouldn't argue with that. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up. And we're gonna let Fish Tank get the first go around here.
I get the first go around?
Yeah, you look like an NFL owner in Hawaii calling his GM and saying, this is going to be the draft. You don't get to make your choice. You got the cigar. You got the cool shirt.
That's me.
Yes. Let's say right now, Fantasyland, Fish Tank has just won the lottery. He made a great investment. He has enough money. He bought the Dolphins. He's the boss. Yes. Here we go. So we're going to pop this up here. Guys, I won't see the comments. I'm going to put something made on my screen, so we should see everything here. All right, so we're not going to entertain trade-ups right now, okay? We're just going to entertain the trade offers, Fish Tank, or stay put and make the pick. All right?
Okay. Sounds good.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Runs down. Okay, we got 2 offers on the table.
Okay.
All right. The first one is Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers called. They're telling you, they're asking, hey, look, we want to trade up. We're going to give you this. We want to give you the pick 26, so you're trading down 5 spots, and we're going to give you next year's first round pick. Fish Tank, you say, you know what? Hold on, I'm getting another call. Think about it. Let me get you go. So now, okay, your buddy in New England's calling. They're saying, look, we want you to trade down 34. We'll give you our first round pick, but we want 156 and 21. We'll give you pick 34. So that's Fish Tank. Fish Tank just laughed. He hung up on him. Thank you, AFC East. Right or wrong, Fish Tank?
Yeah, you reject that one, bro. You reject
all right. So right here, Fish Tank, you look at who's available. I
like this. Can I counter?
We could try. Yeah, let's give it a counter.
because I got to wait till this bigger screen pops up because my other screen, there we go. Okay. I'm about 5 or 10 seconds behind us on my big board. So, 21, I would rather trade him, take away next year's Tampa first, and plug in 57, 89, and 125.
Been rejected.
Rejected?
Rejected.
All right, give me 57 and 89 then.
Rejected.
Really?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I'll accept their current offer.
All right, so let me tell you why this I wouldn't hate this trade, because you're only trading down 5 spots and you get a first-round pick for next year that if this team doesn't win, you got 2 first-rounders next season.
Exactly. So it's Tampa Bay. So guess what?
That's right. So we're going to accept that. All right. You get another call. You got San Francisco saying they'll give you 31 and 63 for 26 and 156. So you're basically trading up from 156 to 63. You have Philadelphia.
What else do we got? Is that the only offer?
No, you got 3 offers. The second one is the Eagles offering 27 and 71 for 26 and 157. So you're trading down 1 spot. You're trading up from 71 to 156. And then you got Cincinnati.
What's next?
Cincinnati got 49, 80, and a second-round pick for 26 and 238.
Let's try to parlay. Let's counter with them.
With Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now let's take that second rounder away. I got to wait for my big board. There it is. Okay. And I'll take 115 and 147.
All right. That's been accepted.
There you go. I'll take it.
All right. So in that deal, let me hide this for a second. Fishtank made the trade. He traded down from 21 down to 49. However, he's added more draft picks. 49, 55, 80, 115, 147, 156, 185, and 199. Excuse me. So here we go.
Here we go. We're ready.
We got some trade offers. Let me go. You got 148. I don't think you wanted
any trades, Bobby. No trades.
So we're going to reject them both. All right. So you got Jazan Newton out of Illinois, who's ranked 13th on the Pro Football Network board. You got Leonard Taylor, who I really like. You do have Michael Penix. You got Sweat there. Zach Frazier, center.
Leonard Taylor.
I love it. Love it. You're back on the board here. I'll let you see what's on the table here.
Yeah, it's got to refresh a little bit, Bobby. I'm sorry about that.
You're good, brother.
All right. So what do we got on the board? I'm not doing any more trades with anybody. So reject them all. I'm not doing any more trades. I got the picks I need. I'm good.
All righty. So you let me know if you need me to go to any certain.
Okay. He's sitting there at the top. You got to take him.
The quarterback?
You got to take him.
All right, there you go. And you know what? At that pick, 55, not going to rub any elbows. Not going to step on any feet. You go quarterback, Michael Penix.
Had to. Best player available. That's who was there.
All right.
I almost went with defensive tackle, but I know we can get one now if we really need.
You got defensive lineman Leonard Taylor. You got Michael Penix. Here you got Rook Ororo. Sound like my daughter there from Clemson, D tackle. I like him a lot. Cedric Gray, middle linebacker.
We already have Taylor though, right?
You do. Excuse me, guys. So you got center Cedric Van Pran.
I like him. Let's pick him.
So there you go. Offensive line, center. Ooh.
Who do we got?
So we just brought up Jaheim Bell at FSU. He's sitting there at 97. I mean, he's sitting there at 115. You got Jalen Wright, running back out of Tennessee. You got Dominic Pooney, offensive guard out of Kansas.
Ooh, that's a hard one, Bobby.
It is. This is a good pick, man. You got some quality players at this point.
Wow, I hate to say it, but I got to go for offense. I got to go for the line. I really want the tight end, but I'm going for the line.
You're going for Pooney? Pooney?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. I'm sure someone's correcting me. I don't see the comments, guys, so forgive me. I can't see them right now, but we'll get to them. All right. Ooh, okay. Hey, you know what? You might have a saving grace here. 147. You do have for tight end Dalen Holker, who Coach Vogel likes on OTC. Big tight end. Makes all the plays.
Vogel likes him. I'm definitely taking him. Take him.
There you go. Holker, there's your tight end. All right.
I'm not getting lucky. I got picks.
You do. Hey, you know what? All right. So here you got Zach Center, offensive lineman, offensive guard out of Michigan. You got Luke McCaffrey, who's Christian McCaffrey's brother, wide receiver. Let's see. Give me one moment, Fish Tank. I'm going to step away while you think about that. I'll be right back, okay?
All right, scroll it down.
Let me 1 second. Just step away very fast.
Well, there's a lot of people to like. I wish I could scroll that thing myself, but I can't. Sorry about that, folks. Well, I like who we've got so far. And we've got a DT, quarterback. I think we're doing fine. We got a tight end, too.
All right. Sorry about that. Heard the dog. I was like, I got to let her out. All right.
Yeah, you went the wrong way. I meant go back up to the top.
Oh, all right.
I said scroll down. I meant
scroll up.
Scroll back to the beginning. Okay, who do we have? We have wide receiver. You have guard, but we don't have offensive tackle. What's the closest offensive tackle we have?
Javon Foster out of Missouri is your top tackle on the board.
What position rank is he?
166.
No, I don't want to go for him. I have another pick for that guy. So let's go back and get a wide receiver so we have our number 3.
All right.
Pick the best wide receiver on the board, Bobby.
Let's see. Fish Tank said a guy with size. So let's see if we can find a guy with size here.
Gotta have speed.
Well, you know what?
What?
Well, I'm going to roll for you. I think Luke McCaffrey. I know Wingate brought him up last show.
All right.
Running back, receiver. All right. So you're at 185 here, Fish Tank.
Right on.
Christian Jones tackles on the board here out of Texas.
Take him.
$199 is your final pick, sir.
This is my final pick.
Yes, sir.
Got to go with the best player on the board.
Another wide receiver, Anais Smith.
Linebacker, right where you're at.
Linebacker. Okay, got you. So Jamita. We'll go there. So there it wraps up. Dolphins don't have a 7th round pick. And there you go. Fish Tank Hank's draft. He finishes up with Leonard Taylor out of Miami, defensive lineman. Michael Penix, quarterback out of Washington. Cedric Van Pran, offensive center, offensive lineman. Offensive guard, Dominic Puny out of Kansas. Dallin Holker, Colorado State tight end. Luke McCaffrey, wide receiver out of Rice. He is also the brother of Christian McCaffrey, running back for the 49ers. Christian Jones, offensive tackle out of Texas. And Jung Meda out of Wisconsin, linebacker. And he got a 1st-round pick for next season. So there you go. So, guys, put your grade for Fish Tank in the comments. What do you think Fish Tank Hank's grade is? I know it's hard to grade a draft before the players even play, but if you were finished that draft class, do you give it an A, B, C, A plus, B plus, C plus, D, F, whatever it is? Be kind, but be honest. All right.
Be kind, but be honest. You don't want him to be honest then.
All right. Make this quick. So first off, I will say no to the Patriots. I will not make that deal. But no, I will make this deal here. Though I know who's on the board, J.J. McCarthy, quarterback. A lot of people are high on him. I haven't got a chance to sit down and really watch his film, but I understand that might be a consideration. But Byron Murphy's still on the board. Love him. Amarius Mims, Georgia. I'm thinking, okay, we trade down the top of the 2nd round. One of these guys are still going to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and make this trade because I get an additional pick in the top 100. That's Wingate's formula. Add picks within that top 100. I'm rolling with Wingate here. And then you get that 5th round pick for next season. Add a pick for next year. Go ahead and add that deal. Bam. So
bam.
Moving down, we reject the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now I'm looking here. Cameron Kitchen, safety, still on the board. Graham Barton, Duke offensive lineman, on the board. Camry Lassiter, Georgia defensive. So there's a lot of good players here. They're asking me to trade up 6 picks, trade down 6 picks, but also trade up from 70 to 156. See here, that is 6 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I'm going to make that deal. Reject that one. I'm going to reject you. Dolphins there sitting at 39. I've traded down twice, but I think I'm pretty damn good there. All right, I've gained some draft picks. My next pick is at 55. I see Graham Barton sitting there. Could play multiple positions. 6'6", 315 pounds. I'm going to go offensive line here. You can put if Armstead comes back, you pelleg him in at left guard with Connor Williams at center. If Connor Williams comes back, I'm rolling with Graham Barton, offensive lineman. Now I'm sitting there. This trade is available. Again, this is a trade within the top 100. I'm trading a base. I'm looking at this more as pick 185 to pick 93. I'm going to make that deal, Fish Tank. I'm going to take that pick. I'm good here. I'm good there. All right. So I'm sitting there. I got my offensive lineman, my offensive guard. I'm looking. I see Michael Hall, defensive lineman. Giggity. I see Cedric Gray. I see Jeremiah Trotter, both inside linebackers. I see 2 of them sitting there. I know I could get at least one of them. So I'm going to roll. You know what? I'm going to look at here. Who did I have rated higher? Let me look. Yep. Look at that. I got my board there, and I got Michael Hall, and I'm taking Michael Hall. I'm rejecting you. I'm rejecting you. I'm going to go Jeremiah Trotter here. Nope. All right. So right there, I've got so far offensive guard, Graham Barton out of Duke, Michael Hall, Jeremiah Trotter. Okay. Let's see here. Take a look at the offense very quick. And there it is. I'm rolling that way. Fish tank. I'm getting my tight end, Ben Sennett. Bam. I just grabbed my tight end. That dude, you gotta watch him, Fish tank. Reject that deal. All right. Kansas State, Ben Sennett, got him there. You know what? I see a guy that I'm very high on. I know I just drafted Michael Hall. I like Peyton Wilson. Shoot, I like Johnny Wilson. But Fish tank. Damn, no, wait. You know what? No, I'm sticking with my board. I'm getting Braden Fisk out of FSU. Zach Sealer is there. But Braden Fisk, as Wingate has said, may play edge rusher. We're losing Christian Wilkins. I got Michael Hall. You plug him in the middle. You got Brandon Fisk. Zach Sealer. I'm feeling pretty damn good about that defense right now. All right. So far, I got 2 picks left here. Let's take a look. Take a look at the quarterback position. Who's still on the board? And nobody I really care for. You know what? I am going to go here with, let's see here. I'm going with Kendall Milton out of Georgia, running back. We'll roll with that dude right there.
Really?
I'm going to add with our running back room. Little power back there. Get him. I like him. And then last but not least, my stupid thing is playing with me here. Let's go Nathan Thomas out of Louisiana, offensive tackle, to wrap this up. So there you go. So my draft, I traded down. I've traded down a couple spots. Got Graham Barton, offensive guard out of Duke, 6'6", 350 some odd pounds, beat monster guy. You put him again at guard, you play him at tackle. I like him. You got Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle at Ohio State. You got your inside linebacker, Jeremiah Trotter. You got Ben Sennett, tight end out of Kansas State. Brandon Fisk, who I think will go higher. I love this kid. Kendall Milton, Nathan Thomas, and I got a 5th-round pick. Not a first-round pick like Fish Tank, which I think was a steal, but just enough. So there you go. So, guys, do me a favor.
But I was relying more on next year than this year, but, you know, you beat me this year. I got to admit, hands down, I sucked the wind out of this one. But I haven't been on the simulator much lately. But when I get back in there, I'm going to look up some of the names that you're telling me to seek out. Graham Barton's one of them that I'm going to look up.
Fishake, I'm going to send you some names, brother, because I'm watching these guys now, and I know you like to look at them too, so I'm going to send you some names, man, to take a look at it.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let me read some of these comments.
We never know where we're going to trade back to is my issue. And I want us to trade back, but I didn't want to trade back to 40-something. But that, you know, I had to get picks. And
the thing is, when you start,
but I didn't capitalize on my picks because I thought the first person that I couldn't see the thing, and I'm like, is that a DT? I said, yeah, I think it's a DT, and I took him.
That's all right. That's okay. And a lot of times, though, when we think of defensive tackles, we think of these big guys. You know, let me just say something for 21 too. I just want to bring this point up for 21. You can still get a very good player. You can still get a player at 21. I mean, we're the 21st overall pick. Look at the players that have been selected at that pick. Okay, you're at a good spot. You can get a quality player. However, this draft has some good quality players in the middle of it. And that's why trading down should absolutely be considered. I think both draft classes or both draft picks, so whatever, were very good. And, you know, with the picks, Leonard Taylor at the trade down that you got, I like him a lot out of Miami. I got Graham Barton, and then I got Michael Hall there with Brandon Fisk. Loved it. You know, Ben Sennett and Jeremiah.
Let's go with the reality too, Bobby. Let's go with the reality. Chris Greer has had more players hit on second and third round than he has first.
Well, that's why I always say bread and butter. The bread and butter of this draft. Most drafts are the second, third, fourth, fifth round picks. You gotta get. That's why you gotta get that middle. We're missing that. We got 1, 2, and then we're out 3, 4, and then we got 5, 6, 7. No, Miami needs to trade and get those that meat in the center of the draft.
I think it would be careless. It would be careless to go after the 21 pick. I think we just need too much. No matter what, I'm a trade back person to begin with.
That's why, to me, I don't think trade up. I wouldn't trade up unless somebody's getting real close and you're afraid they might lose them. But I think you let the draft play out, let it fall to you at 21. Okay. And again, we don't know what could happen. As Wingate has brought up, Miami could restructure some deals, could make some trades, free up cap, and then you go free agency and you fill. That's why I believe you get those you fill out your roster as best you can. You go into the draft with as less needs as possible. So that way you go BPA or, let the draft follow you to 21. Who's available? Yeah. Trade back if you see, I think this guy might be here at 33 or whatever, and you work that way. Let me just say
That's
here.
I would try to do. I'd try to work it, like I said, in the 30s somewhere. But we got to massage somebody somewhere.
That's right. Absolutely for Wingate, we also have to think about this new scheme coming. Length, power, leverage are important at D end and nose tackle. And guys, I'll have to tell you, you could catch Josh Wingate every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, with Coach Vogel, myself on the clock, talking NFL draft. We're going after every position. We got a lot of fun things coming. We got the war room. We do the mock draft simulators, but we do it in a different type of way. It's a lot of fun. But if you want to learn more about the draft, catch Wingate and Coach Vogel, myself, Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, at Fitz Talk today, we talk everything Dolphins. We talk the offseason. We talk free agency. We talk the draft. We have a lot of fun here. So if you're tuning in for the first time, hit that like and subscribe button. But before we wrap it up,
Fish Tank today, though. We're all serious for some reason today.
We're serious, right? But Fish Tank, before we wrap this up, sir, any final thoughts?
It's great to have you back. I mean, I miss you as my partner in crime, and I love the fact that everybody stepped up and came in for you and helped me out immensely. So I just want to thank everybody out there for that also. If you helped me out, I appreciate you, and hopefully I can return the favor.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, we'll hold on, see what happens next week. Again, I'll be in Florida doing the Dolphins show. I might be actually walking. I think that's the day I'm walking. So we might take an off day that day. We may figure something out. I don't know. But I would just say, stay tuned. See what happens. Till then, like, subscribe, and most importantly, as always, guys, fins up.
Fins up.